And I turned round and there you were,
How old was I?
standing. You must have been two
Mm.
or almost that. And there you were standing behind me. You had not only come out of the car seat, but you had managed to get through the window onto the side
Resourceful.
of the road where there was moving traffic.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to 30 Years and Running. I'll be your host, Christian, and each week my friends and I will be looking at life seen through the eyes of 30-somethings. Whether it's things like dating, social media or mental health, we'll be looking at the past, present and future of being in your 30s.
Do you want any lavender candles or just green M&Ms or any other diva requests?
No,
With the
thanks.
temperature in the room at just like 24 degrees and 1
No,
centigrade.
no,
You
no,
sure?
no. We're
No,
fine.
no lavender candles, no
No, we're good.
no puppies for you to stroke and things like that.
No, I didn't realize that I had a choice.
I mean,
Could
I'd-
I?
I mean, I've got candles
So
here if you want.
there are no
candles and stuff.
Ferrero Rochers.
Oh, is that all right? Fine. Sorry, I dropped the ball now. I'll see what else I've got in my cupboard, but yeah.
No. You probably just got those
Or I can run
almonds.
out. I can run out. Yes, sir. I can get you
Well,
some
you
Ferrero
didn't get the
Rocher.
Highland water. The spring
Grow up,
water.
Ange. Grow up, Ange. Jesus.
I'm having to drink tap
Just-
water. I never drink tap water.
Your first world problems. Listen, just be grateful that you have drinkable water in
Are
your
there
country.
worse things going on in the
Yes,
world?
much worse.
I'm sorry.
Flipping hell.
I'm
This
sorry,
is what we're
sorry,
dealing
sorry.
with here, people. But
Oh,
on that note, welcome to 30 Years and Running. I have got one of the goats in my life, actually. So I got a very, very special guest with me. I've got my mum. Mumsy rolled through. I didn't think you were going to come. I didn't know you were going to come as well. I'll be honest.
well, I'm here.
I know. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
You well?
Yeah, good.
Nervous? Excited? All the above?
I think all the above.
it?
This is outside of my
know.
comfort zone.
Yeah, we were just talking about mum's first world problems and how I don't have Highland spring water at my house. I've just got
I'm having to drink
Thames
tap water.
Yeah, good old British Thames water. Keeps you honest, keeps you strong. It's character building.
Oh, sadly.
Get a grip. So you're a fool. This is gonna be. I feel
Sorry.
like this is gonna be a recurring theme throughout this. It's just you laughing at
Okay.
your diva-ish behaviour.
Okay. No
Um,
Ferrero Rochers either.
All right, stop. So today is Mother's Day, and yeah, that's a big part of the reason why Mum is over here. And I thought it'd be interesting that we just talk about just your experiences as a mum, because I suppose I don't think we've obviously talked about it in odds and sods really. But I don't think we've ever kind of properly sat down and kind of talked about everything that you've kind of gone through as a mum. Trials and tribulations and that all that kind of thing really. So almost as part of the celebration of Mother's Day and me thanking you for being my mum for the last 32 years, I thought it'd be interesting and especially enlightening for me. He's just gonna be good. I thought it'd be interesting and enlightening for me
Yeah.
to just find out a bit more about you. Why aren't you looking
Well,
at me
I'm
when
going
talking
to. I'm just thinking about what you were saying, but
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a check. Not a check. I'm going to send you a bill
For what? For the last 32
for
years?
the 32 years that I have given to you.
I mean, you can send the check. I don't know if I'm going to pay it. You should be
It
doing
wasn't
this...
a check. I was going to send you an invoice.
An invoice, sorry.
And
Yeah,
then you send me the check.
This isn't how
It doesn't
motherhood
work that
works.
way.
Man.
Oh,
No.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, there's no financial gain with this. It's just emotional, I'm afraid.
Yeah, very much so.
Why do you look so disappointed about that as well?
I'm not disappointed. I'm actually
You are.
really...
You're like low key disappointed that you're not
No,
getting...
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not. It is honestly, and it's from the bottom of my heart, Chris. It's an absolute honor to be your mum.
Oh, thanks.
An absolute honor, and I mean that sincerely.
And likewise, it's an honor to be your son as well. I feel very, very fortunate to have you as a mum, just because I don't know.
Do you have any tissues?
I've got one out of my pocket if you want.
I've got one in my sleeve.
Is it? Are you crying? You welling up?
No, I'm not welling up, but I was.
It might be used, but
No,
yeah.
no, I've got my.
No, I was gonna say no. It's been an honor for me as well, and I think, to be honest, like me especially, like I haven't kind of, I don't think I've said it enough. To be fair, in terms of being really appreciative for being your son, because throughout the years you've done so much for me and Rye, and it's also selfless as well. Like I guess I only understand it when I'm a parent myself, but all the stuff that you do, from the little things like. You probably know I'm going to name, like going to Wood Green. Was it Wood Green? To
Yeah.
buy the Power Rangers toy for Christmas.
Oh gosh, that was a trek.
do you want to talk about that? We're on the sofa. Do you want to lie down and get it off your chest? Because you've been talking about it for the last a good 25 years, actually. So.
Oh gosh, that was just a trek. Honestly, we lived in Forest Hill, and then because I knew how much you love Power Rangers, I just had to get the Power Rangers, the whole set. So I went to Toys R Us.
Yeah, and just wait, sorry, before you carry on, just to be clear, so people understand, it's not me like holding my breath till I go blue, saying, "Mum, I want this Power Rangers toy."
I wanted you to have it.
I know, so yeah, I just want people to understand, because the way you're kind of, the way the narrative's going at the moment, people probably think, "Oh, Christian's such a brat. He's just like banged on the table until he got his Power Rangers toy, made his mum go all the way across London to get it." But just to be clear, I probably looked at it in the Argos catalogue and be like, "Yeah, I could do with a Power Rangers toy."
Yeah, and I wanted to make it happen for you.
And because of your selflessness
Yeah.
and how much of a caring and devoted mother you are, you went. What was this? Christmas Eve?
No, it was before. It was before then.
Yeah. Regardless,
so-
around Christmas period, where it's
Yeah.
obviously really busy in terms of shopping, went
Oh,
all the
yeah.
way across London to get it for me. So
Oh yeah. So
I
and I
appreciate it.
queued for absolutely ages.
you really want me to know how much struggle you went
Absolutely
through.
ages. I
Yeah.
can't even remember how I got to Wood Green, to be honest, but I got
Did you
there.
take your donkey there or something? Did you hitchhike?
It wasn't Uber.
Oh,
I got there and I got every single thing that I wanted to get. I must have got the whole set.
yeah.
So I was really pleased with myself,
No, I was
that
again.
I was
It's
able
just
to do that for you.
yeah, and like I say, it's one of those things where I think when you're a kid, you're obviously really happy for it, but you don't understand until you get older. It seems like quite a small thing, but I think for me, it's actually quite a big thing, because
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that. That's my point.
No.
You could have been like, actually, no, it's late in the day. I don't want to go all the way across London to get it. So yeah, like I say, I appreciate it. And yeah, what I was going to circle back onto my original point is, yeah, you've got the smaller things like that, and then just the bigger things in terms of just, I guess, yeah, just always being there and just always knowing that you're a walk away or you're a phone call away or that kind of thing. And yeah, that stuff kind of means a lot. And yeah, that's part of the reason why I just wanted to get you on here and just say thanks.
Oh.
It's all right.
I know.
I'm nobody's
I'm
child.
really welling up now, because
Oh.
the thing about it is that I think being a mum, I just always wanted, both you and Ryan to just feel loved and to feel secure.
Yeah.
And I think that once I was able to do those two things, then it was almost job done, because I didn't actually feel that myself.
Yeah.
So there were lots of things that I couldn't do, and I couldn't, probably buy, financially or whatever. But just for you to feel that I'm always going to be here, I'm always going to be your safety net.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like
That was just really important to me.
Yeah, we never needed much as kids.
Yeah.
And I suppose growing up, like I think that the good thing about us is we never went without, like never ever, and that is something that that kind of burns in the memory really, because I don't think people are always as fortunate as that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something that I really appreciate, and just really I just feel lucky to have that as well. I suppose especially being kind of like a young black boy in like South London. I don't want to make it sound like we were from the ghetto or something like that, but do you know what I mean? Like not all kind of young black boys especially have, 2-parent households.
Yeah.
And some of them don't necessarily have kind of the opportunities that we had, and also the fact that, like I say, they never kind of went without either. So yeah, I feel very lucky in that respect. Do you remember where you were when you found out you were pregnant with Ryan? So Ryan's my older brother, but yeah. Do you remember where you were?
I do actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because I've never heard this story, so.
Okay, it's actually quite
And
interesting.
then afterwards, I'll ask you about where you were with me, actually.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
I do.
I'm sure you've probably forgotten where you were with me. I'm joking.
No, that's not true.
I'm joking.
With Ryan, the first time I found out that I was pregnant was when I went to see my optician, Mr. Spivak.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to see Mr. Spivak.
Man like Derek.
Man like Derek.
I was not expecting you to say that as well.
Yeah, man like Derek.
You're
Oh, you remember
you're
Mr. Spivak?
you're a rogue girl, aren't you? Yeah,
Yes.
but I still go to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's how
I
long
didn't
I've
realise
known
you'd been to him for that long.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I was working on Curzon Street at the time, and he's just in Green Park. So
Yeah.
I went to see him, and he was just fascinated with the eyes, and he did various videos. He was way ahead of his time, so he did various videos of my eyes and things like that. And then he said to me, "Did I realize that I had a problem with my knee? Did I know that I had a problem with my knee?" And I said,
Your
"No."
knee?
Yeah, and I said no. And then he said to me, he suggested that I go and have a pregnancy test.
Wait, pause.
Because
How
he's
did
an
he-
iridologist.
What's that?
An iridologist, you can look into someone's eyes.
Oh, right.
Dr.
so,
Perlman
yeah.
is an iridologist.
Right.
So he can look into your eyes and see what's
And see
going
you
on.
had a problem with your knee.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, and then
But then,
he
he
also
linked
told
it to
me,
pregnancy.
No, he didn't link it to pregnancy, but he suggested at the same time that I
Yeah.
go and get a pregnancy test.
Right, okay.
So,
I thought you meant he said you've got a problem with your knee, and then
And
you
it's-
should get a pregnancy test of the back.
because
of
the pregnancy's
All right,
in your knee.
Yeah. All right, I think
No, it
okay.
wasn't
So they're
that.
two separate things then.
Yeah, it's two
All right,
separate
fine,
things.
got
So
you.
he said to me, he actually suggested to me that I should get a pregnancy test. And, so that's what I did, and then found out that, I was expecting Ryan at the time.
Yeah.
So that was my first,
Foray into motherhood.
yeah, yeah,
And then, do you remember where you were when you found out about me?
yeah. That was, it was easier that time because I guess you
Suppose
expect,
'cause you've been through it before.
you'd been through it, so I wasn't feeling well, and the morning sickness started.
Sorry.
Awful, I know. Don't worry, you're gonna pay. So the morning sickness had started, and so I knew that would have been about April
Yeah.
that I found out that I knew I was pregnant. So I don't even think I had a test because I just knew.
Yeah. I suppose you would do like after the first one. Was it exactly the same? Did
No.
you have like the same symptoms and stuff like that? Or?
Well, the sickness and everything was the same, but the birth itself was very different.
Yeah.
Like I've told you before, with Ryan, I was in labour like 13 hours. And with you were almost born on the bus. And that's the fact, because I'd actually gone to Guy's for my regular antenatal appointment,
Yeah.
got there, and I was actually going to pick up Ryan and Tom. Tom was Ryan's good friend from the nursery. So we had it, Pippa and I had arranged to, have it in turns, because Pippa was also pregnant at the same time as me. So we'd had it in turns that we would collect, the young ones from the nursery. So it was my turn to collect Ryan and Tom.
Yeah.
And I had gotten the bus. It was just after the Clapham rail crash that they had. So I'd gotten the bus, and I went to Guy's for my regular antenatal. And when I got there, saw the doctor, and they were trying to guess, to see your weight and stuff like that. So they said everything was fine, that I could go home. And oh my word. And they said to go to make, because at the time you used to carry your notes with you. So you had your notes with you. So I had to go to the desk to make my appointment for the next visit, which was in 2 weeks' time. They said to make an appointment for 2 weeks. So I said, okay, fine. And then as I left the consulting room, I just couldn't move. I just couldn't move. I just sat down, and then there was a really nice nurse, and she came over to me and she said, had I made my appointment for the next visit? And I said, no, not yet. I didn't feel very well. So she said, so I just sort of sat there. I can't explain to you how I felt, because I thought I was going to go through, the labour 13 hours that I did with Ryan.
Yeah.
And so I was just sitting on the chair, couldn't move, couldn't make the appointment, couldn't do anything. So she just placed her hand on my stomach, and she said to me, but dear, your contractions are coming every 2 minutes. I was like, no. And the tears were rolling down my face. And I said to her, I've got to go to Herne Hill to pick up my son and his friend. So my contractions can't be coming now.
Sorry.
So
I just couldn't wait to get out into the world.
I know. So then she said to me, she wouldn't even allow me to move. So she called the porter, and the porter came with a wheelchair, and they wheeled me up to the delivery suite. And of course, your grandma was at home waiting, because she had spent almost 13 hours with me waiting to be at the birth with Ryan, and she was so determined she was going to be there with you. So, did you want to go into details with all of this?
Not really, but it's fine. You can carry on. No, finish off.
So, anyway, I'll try and just make a long story short.
I was just taking a piss, by the way, but yeah, carry on.
Okay. So, they got me upstairs, and there was a nurse there, and she said, she's going to be going off duty, and she wished me luck. And she just sort of propped me up on the bed, and she said she was going to just get me comfortable until the next person came in. And then that was it.
I came.
You came.
20 past 4. Was it 20 past 4?
Yeah.
18 minutes
17 minutes past 4, I think it was.
Yeah, 17 past.
And I didn't have anything. With Ryan, I'd had everything that was going.
Yeah.
But then with you were just there. And she was shocked.
Just easy going. Just,
Yeah,
I was just like, here I am.
She was shocked. And
I don't want any fuss. I don't want any of that 13-hour labour.
Nothing. You just came. So
like, Mum's got stuff to do. She's got to go pick up Ryan and Tom.
I was supposed to have been in Herne Hill. You would have been born on the bus if I'd had the energy.
What, like the P4 or something?
I don't remember what bus it was. I think it was.
P4 runs. I don't know if it still runs. No,
but it wasn't the P4, because I had to go to Herne Hill.
Clapham, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it was a 45 or a 37, something like that I had to get, because I was at London Bridge.
You should give me that middle name or something. Christian 45 Edwards.
I should have done. So that was it. So then I got the nurse to call Grandma, because Grandma was sitting at home waiting.
Yeah.
She was expecting me to come home after that antenatal visit.
Yeah.
And of course, when I called her, and Grandma, in true Grandma style, they told her that I'd had the baby. And
Magism.
And then she came in and she went, Magism. So that was it. And you were sitting up there, in my arms, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
And then the rest is
and
history.
You've never stopped.
I know.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I was gonna ask actually. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but did you ever struggle as a mum? Well, I think almost actually. Let's take a step back. Did you always want to be a mum? Actually,
absolutely.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because what I would say is, you can tell when I feel like you can tell when people, like, their maternal instincts are just there. I guess.
Yeah.
And your maternal. It's obviously easy for me to say as your son, but like, even if I wasn't your son, like, I'd look at you and I see the way that you deal with people and how you try and take care of people and how you treat people.
Yeah.
And like, to me, it would seem like your maternal instincts have always been there from day one.
Yeah,
I've never asked you that question, but I was just curious because it's obviously something that I think a lot of people don't necessarily kind of plan.
Yeah.
But they kind of they roll with it.
Yeah, but, I'm just
I
a
never
nurturer.
got that sense from I never got that sense. I always got the sense from you that you always kind of destined to be a mum.
Yeah, I'm just a nurturer. I get great pleasure from mothering everyone, not just my two special sons, but I'm nurturing everyone all the time because it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable. That's, but you and Ryan made mothering so easy. I didn't have, it was, I can't think of a difficult time.
There must have been some times, especially especially with Ryan, I don't say it just because of him. I say it more because that's your first child,
Mm.
where it's obviously a bit of a kind of, well, it's a massive learning curve for you.
Mm.
You're having to deal with, late night feeds and not getting enough sleep and just
I
not
just
quite.
never had a problem with it.
Is it fair enough?
I've just never had a problem with it.
Mm.
I just nothing. I never ever. There was not a moment that I didn't enjoy being a mum.
So at no point were you just like, even for a split second, and this isn't a trick question or anything like
Yeah.
that, but even for a split second, just be like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, or
No,
I'm scared, or
no,
Okay.
no. I was
supreme confidence.
just yeah, no. And I was fortunate, remember, because when I had Ryan, your great grandma had retired that year, so I didn't have the extra pressures,
Yeah,
of
sure.
having to have like a childminder or anything. So Gran had retired that year, so she took charge of Ryan whilst I went back to work.
Yeah.
And then when you were born, your grandma was living with us, so she then took charge. So I didn't have.
Yeah.
I never had to be worrying when I was at work. I didn't have to rush home to get to a childminder by a certain time.
Yeah.
If I chose to, I could have left you at grandma or at gran for the night. But it's just, I never actually felt that anyone could care for my sons the way that I could care for them. So
Yeah, sure.
I didn't exercise that option, although it was there for me. So, motherhood was very, very easy for me.
Yeah. I'll be honest, that surprised me a little bit, because I think when you speak to mums, just any mums,
Yeah.
especially new mums, obviously, because it's a completely different experience to what they know.
Yeah.
Like they'll say, or a lot of them will say in the beginning, they sometimes struggled, and I
Yeah.
don't necessarily mean on the far end of the scale where you're talking about things like postnatal depression and things like that. I mean, even just like the little things like I was talking about in terms of late night feeds and kind of getting into the rhythm of all that stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely think you're very kind of unique in that sense, and I think it almost reaffirms what I was talking about earlier in terms of your maternal instincts just being there from kind of day one.
But remember as well, Chris, that I had, you and Ryan were there in the bed. I didn't have you in like another room where I had to get up to feed you. So everything was on tap for you.
Not like the Highland spring water, is it?
No,
Yeah.
everything was on tap. So
See, now I feel bad about not having the tap water. Like, you had everything on tap for me when, growing up, and I can't even deliver some bottled water to you. So sorry. Or some Ferrero Rochers.
no, so no, I didn't. And I guess I kind of, without sounding a little bit self-centered, I was quite organized in a sense where, you were fed at certain times, you were put down to sleep at certain times. You were just really good kids. And I didn't have any issues at all. Then as you grew older, we would read.
Any no horror stories about me in particular?
Oh gosh. How
See, it
long
hasn't all
do we
been
have?
See, it hasn't all been plain sailing, has it, Ange?
Oh,
Yeah.
you gave me some scary times. The two that stand out was the time when Dad had surgery on his
It's
tendon.
Achilles. Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to have to drive him to Ilford, and then drop Ryan to school in Bickley, and then left Bickley, drove to Romford, dropped Dad to work. And then, I had to literally, oh God, it's just scary just even thinking about it, Christian. That on that particular day, I had to take Dad's briefcase into the office for him, and I turned round and there you were,
How old was I?
standing. You must have been 2, or almost that, and there you were standing behind me. You had not only come out of the car seat, but you had managed to get through the window onto the
Resourceful.
side of the road where there was moving traffic.
Challenging.
only to be standing at the door beside me, I can't even tell you how horrified and how scared I was.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you leave a baby in the car with the window not
No,
wired
Chris.
down, and it's 30 degrees. It's the middle of August. Haven't been fed, no water.
No,
What am I supposed
no,
to do?
No,
NSPCC.
no,
I'm
no,
joking.
no.
I'm joking. Don't.
No,
Don't call
it
them.
was
Fine.
just not like
Yeah.
that. You just did not keep still.
Yeah.
And then on the second occasion was where it was Christmas time and I was again buying presents and we were in the early learning centre in Lewisham.
Yeah.
And for that split second, I turned around and you just weren't there. And I cannot explain to you the panic that goes through you.
Yeah, I
It
can imagine.
was just because it was dark outside and
Yeah, I can imagine.
turned around and you just weren't there.
Just trying
and
to
I
get something
thought-
to eat. Just went to Morley's or something. Get a quick bite.
You were never hungry, you were fed.
Yeah, I'm joking.
And so I looked and when I opened the door and went outside, I saw you outside and I was just annoyed because I thought, gosh, if I'd seen a young child. I
Oh,
would have
right. I
asked
thought you were
where their
annoyed at me
parents
for a
were.
second.
No, it wasn't even you. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
annoyed that
Yeah.
somebody had let you through the door because
Yeah, sure.
the latch is quite high on the door.
What, so I
So
just went, boop.
you couldn't have opened it. Somebody must have opened the
Right.
door and then you slipped
They're like,
through.
here you go, little baby, come out.
Yeah,
Without your mum. Yeah.
Where's your mom? You know, I would have
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, what kind of
But
society
that
we live in?
again was just,
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can't even, you cannot imagine
Yeah.
what that feels like.
That must be horrible.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I just
Sorry.
was just really scared.
I
So,
feel like I've
but that's-
apologised a lot for stuff that I just had no
Yeah,
control over.
but
really,
you
yeah.
were just, you just moved quickly.
Mm.
You would just do things,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it was a pleasure. I mean, I have so many fond memories and,
yeah,
you were just such a delight.
yeah, and likewise, like I've got a lot of fond memories of you as well.
Mm.
And I think the thing that I like, what are you laughing? What are you thinking about? I think I know what you're talking about.
No, I don't.
You talk about the radiator thing.
No, we don't. We're not going to talk about that.
All right, fine.
camera.
We'll leave the radiator thing to another day.
We'll leave that till another.
The joke is, it's not even that funny, to be fair, but it's more just funny to us.
I know. You'll never let me live that down.
Yeah, but it's in fact, I'm going to tell it now.
Oh, you're not, are you?
No, it's only, but I don't think people will find it funny necessarily, but I find it hilarious.
You
But it's
do.
no, but it's more. So basically, we're at our old house in Forest Hill, and we're basically bleeding the radiators.
We.
Okay, you. All right,
Mum
sorry.
was bleeding.
So mum was bleeding the radiator, and it was basically coming out with like this kind of black water, and was it
And it
hot
was
as well?
hot.
Yeah, it was hot as well. And me and my older brother Ryan were just looking at my mum, kind of struggling with all this black hot water just going everywhere up the walls. She's getting wet, carpet's getting wet, everything.
And it was a light coloured carpet as well. We just
Oh
made
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. A light coloured carpet as well. And me and my brother are just cracking up laughing. And then my mum just breaks into her patois and she's just like, "Oh yeah, stand up there and laugh like fucking hyena." And we just burst into tears, just laughing, and that's that. I think that might be the funniest memory that I've got.
But I was
just
so
because it was
disappointed with
I know-
myself.
I know, because it's like a switch of like character.
I
That's
could
why
not
it was so
believe
funny.
that I allowed you guys
Yeah.
to drive me to that. And that's
I
the
know.
first time and probably the only time that you heard me
Yeah,
swear.
that was pure venom coming out your mouth.
Oh,
time.
that was just awful.
Yeah.
But you've turned it around on me a few times now,
Yeah, it's
haven't
funny.
you?
But sorry, the thing I was going to say before we even got to that story was I think that the thing that I appreciate kind of thinking about it now is just how our relationships kind of evolved over time, really. And obviously, kind of when you're a kid, it's a very kind of, you're the parent, you're the child, you do what I say type of thing.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point, I can't necessarily kind of pinpoint where that was. It was probably like maybe around uni time. It started to feel less like you telling me what to do and less of a kind of a parent-son relationship or a mother-son relationship and more of just a friendship.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite, like I say, I really appreciate that, to be fair, because, you're funny and we get along and stuff like that. So like I like having you as a friend, and I like knowing that I can talk to you and it doesn't have to necessarily be in, you know, under the mother-son lens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about stuff as if I was talking to one of like my other friends. Maybe
Your
not
peers.
exactly the same way, but
Yeah.
but like
And
for the most part,
likewise.
like stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and likewise with me, because you know, you're very honest and a very straightforward person. I value your opinion. And so if I have something that I'm not sure about, I'm confident that I can get an honest opinion from you. You won't tell me what I need to hear. You will tell me
The banana bread
truth.
last week was dry. I'm joking.
this interview is terminated.
No, for the record, Mum makes unbelievable banana bread actually. So yeah, no qualms there actually.
Master Chef.
All right. Go and apply next year then. Go and put your money where your mouth
I
is.
couldn't do that
You
under
could do
the
Master
glare
Chef.
of the
You
camera,
could.
Chris.
If you can do it under the glare under these cameras,
No,
then
I
yeah, you'll
couldn't.
be...
I couldn't do that. It's just it would be too. I love cooking, but it'd just be too much pressure. I couldn't.
No, you'd ace it. To be
Yeah.
fair. But, yeah.
But no, you know, like I said, you've just been very honest, and I've often said to my friends, you know, that if you were my peer and not my son, I would actually have you as a friend, because you're a
Thanks.
you're a genuine, loyal, honest guy that I love. You know, so
That's where I get it from, I guess. You and Dad. So yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
yeah, no, you are, and you know, like I said earlier, you've just made parenting. It was a doddle.
I mean, I feel like
it's
that's
all done.
the least, you know, that's the least we could have done. To be fair, is just try not to cause you to any problems, or not too many problems really. And yeah, I think, you know, like I say, when I look back on it now, I just realise how lucky we were. And like my whole, you know, big part of what I do like day to day is just try and make you and Dad proud. That's it really.
I am absolutely, and I know Dad feels the same way, but I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, just try and make you proud, and just try and make sure that, you know,
Oh.
we're fully that we fully just take advantage of all the opportunities, or the leg up that you've kind of given to me and Rye. So
Absolutely, and you know, I've just always believed that you are capable of so much, and I trust your judgment. And I love you. I really, I love you to bits.
Thanks, Mum. I love you too.
I love you. To the moon and back.
Thanks for watching 30 Years and Running. Please subscribe, comment, and share. See you next week. Peace.